Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another video, our third and final video in the Progenitors Arrival quest. This time we are taking on a lone Diablo. So, no longer an AoE-focused fight, which makes things easier but also harder, depending on your team build and everything. But let's take a look at the field. Increases all souls, including unity damage, by 200% for 6 turns. Oh, wow. And then decreases alt gauge increase. Oh. So you get extra damage on the normal orbs, but you don't get shit for alt. Okay, missions should be the same, right? 5 alive, physical magic, 2 flashback, 7 turns. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Oh, wait, no, we gotta look at what he does. Physical attack, single target attack, physical resistance down of us, alt gauge, decreases alt resistance of all targets, nullify the status effects, okay, nerfs alt damage, and a protection seal, decreases own defense, own physical attack, own magic attack. So he makes himself weaker? Okay, recover stat Adam Raz on the alt. 1.2 million HP, so a little bit higher than the second stage, not by much, but higher. Single target though. We know single targets, they do quote unquote more damage. But no alt gauge from orbs means that you gotta rush the alt somehow. Okay. I mean, I have an idea. I have an idea. I don't know how good of an idea it is, but I definitely have an idea. Let's get started. Okay, we're gonna use a team that we generally don't talk very highly of. Goddess of Destiny. Follow up orb damage. Normally, doesn't matter too much, because follow up as a gimmick is kind of not super useful. But if you're going to buff our orb damage by 200%, and we have a lot of cheap, powerful buffs, and then the follow-up orbs will be based off of the 200%, right? So it'll be 50% cut, so it'll be 100% extra damage on the follow-ups. This is probably follow-up orbs' best case scenario. So full magic team, Goddess of Destiny Shuna, Rain, Soka, and then the 2 free-to-play characters, Traya and Veldora, so we've got those missions covered. I feel like this should be an easy clear. It just kind of depends on the turn 1 RNG, but we're going to just jump right in. I feel like this should work. I feel like our orbs are going to do a lot of damage, especially once you get the crits and the light attack and the magic buff and the attack buff from Soka. I mean, technically that works. Technically. This should not get her ult, actually, so let's just go ahead and steal. Yeah, so 1, 2... See how much this does. No alt gauge whatsoever. 52 points, fine. 1.5 protector. That's actually bring in Rain as well, because we've got protection gauge Xion under her. So, 20k a hit. Oh, yeah, I think... Oh, 63k on a crit. Oh... That's nice. Okay, so now we can steal again. Full 6-hand. And now Mirren gonna get the follow-up orbs, guaranteed crits, and then 100% skill point increase for all orbs, which means that this is gonna give us a cap, essentially. And then we'll have a lot of points ready for next turn. And we could just probably... I wouldn't say nuke, because, I mean, look at that gauge, we're not getting anything. But we're going to have a lot of points to make sure that we can do heavy damage. 33k a hit now. If we can get a good 6-hand or something, we could probably kill. So, my god, 16k a hit on a follow-up? Yeah, that's... okay, well, that's not great. We'll just... we'll buff here. We'll buff here. And then we'll just get her out of here. And we'll hold on to these. And we'll get Soka in here for you. You don't take any unnecessary damage. Okay, let's get Veldora out. Let's just send these rain orbs, and then we're going to have a lot of Trio orbs. A lot of Trio orbs, which can then turn into a lot of Shuna orbs. Yeah, that's what I like to see right there. Okay, so we only have to use the Soka buff now, right? So let's self-convert, convert. Boom. Boom. Tria gets out of here. And then we can apply the attack buff, which is 40%. We already have the magic buff, we already have the light buff, we already have the crit buff, so let's reapply the follow-up orbs now. And then I think Shuna is just going to kill him. I don't even think we're going to make it to the follow-ups. But if we do, it'd be hilarious. 100k a hit. 203. Yeah, that's great. Look at that. Goddess of Destiny. Finally useful. Oh, man. That, you know what? That brings my heart a little bit of joy. Okay, so if this team works, then the all-physical team should also be fairly easy to assume. Okay, well, if light follow-up orbs work well, then a follow-up orb team that came almost a year after should also be fine. Tempest Elite, again, not generally looked upon as a great team. It does have some decent spots, like Benimaru's good. Rimuru obviously can do a lot of damage, and he has the burn, which means that we'll do extra damage, because the orb damage that he's going to do is fire, follow-up orbs are fire, the burn takes into account all your fire damage, and this could be probably even more funny. 2 free-to-play characters in Ritas and Gobta, full physical team. This should also be fairly straightforward at this point. We're not looking to nuke, we're looking to use follow-up orbs. And I guess if you have Protector of Peace, you could do that as well. Like, I guess that's a physical team. The thing is that we don't have any skill points. We don't have enough to use Shuna turn 1, because I brought the big 3. Not a huge deal. We'll just go ahead and bring in you for Gobta, and then we'll bring in Benimaru for Ritas, and we'll just send these green orbs. See how much damage we do on them. 14, 18k. Alright, sure. Guard, whatever. Alright, and now we have enough points to activate Shuna's orb change. Boom, almost a trainee. Not quite, unfortunate, but it is what it is. Let's do this. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, 107 points back. Doing 22k a hit now, because the blue orbs have been damage buffed again. Does that count? I guess one is permanent, one is temporary, huh? Let's take a look at that. So 200% field turns remaining, and then her orb change is 25% damage for 1 turn. So yeah, they would stack on top of each other. So, let's do it again. Full convert, alright, cool. Let's pierce buff now. Let's attack. This is... let's burn. Okay. And then we'll use trainee. Give ourselves a follow-up. This will also give us a few extra points on the blue orbs. Alt rush, which, again, isn't really that important because we're not looking to do traditional nuking damage here. But it does give us quite a few points. And then the burn will kick in. So, our counter. 24k, 29k. This Rimuru, 72k. Follow-up orbs. And then the burn kicks in. 54k right there. Okay. So there's the physical nerf. Protection skill is now sealed. And she's only doing follow-ups for 1 turn, which is kind of unfortunate. So I guess... I guess he doesn't seal you unless you get an ult. So it's actually not super great. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and send it out, because there's nothing we can really do about that. Okay, so maybe this team is actually worse. I don't want the ult on this team, and we're going to be sealed for the next turn as well. And then a little bit of burn, because we only had 1 Rimuru orb. Oh, Well then, let's full convert. The Pierce buff is still active. Let's put some more burn on. Let's do a physical buff as well. Let's do an attack buff because we got points for it. And then maybe we can kill here with all these buffs, plus the burn, and we can just get out of here before he kills us with that ult. 35, 41. Oh, he's dead. There we go. Okay. Yeah, and then the burn. Oh, counter. Oh, he didn't die! No! Oh, no. Please don't kill. Oh, thank God. Okay, well, you know, it did work. It did. The ult rushing, though, a bit unfortunate. Okay, so I didn't know it was conditional, but now we know. And now he's dead. So, there we go. Technically, it did work. Not quite as smooth as Goddess of Destiny, but it, you know, if we can get the follow-up orbs to work. So maybe we don't use... I wonder if it counts if, like, the person who has an ult is in the back. Okay, so just for science's sake, we had a double trainee, so we gave it to Rimuru. We put him in the back. We still have access to trainees, so Diablo only seals you and nerfs your damage if you have an ult in the front line when it starts his turn. So you can get around that, which is good to know. So, unfortunately, I can't use the Pierce buff here, which is kind of a lot of our damage. But I guess we could do it anyways. We don't need to use an orb chain, because obviously they're all greens. So let's just do the Pierce buff for Benimaru, then. And then we'll bring Rimuru in with his ult that is not nerfed. And then we'll physical buff more burn. We've already got his attack buff. The ult buff is gone, though. Like, we couldn't hold on to that. But I wasn't sure if we were actually going to be able to nuke here anyways. So, let's do this. He's going to have a little bit of power. Not maximum power, but some. And then we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we'll see how much damage this does. 119 is not great. Okay, 38k, 37k. He doesn't have the Pierce. The follow-up orbs, one of them will be for his ult. 24k, 20, 24, 20, 18, 38. 250k burn, and Diablo is almost dead. And then we can kill him here on turn 5 with the full hand of blues. Okay, so that's a lot smoother than the first run. And we can get around his little seal gimmick. Okay, there we go. That, you gotta play around with it, but, you know, we scienced it out into a win. I'm sure, like, Exalted Champions or New Year's Blessing could get this done. You know, they're really good burst damage teams. And even if you don't have the ult, like, New Year's Blessing with the crit and the synergy and the attack buff should be fine. And then Exalted Champions with, you know, they're just power should also be fine. So I honestly think this is the easiest stage, technically. It allows teams that normally wouldn't be that good to actually be somewhat decent, which is saying something, right? So any kind of burst team here that has a medium amount of power will probably do the job. Vengeance, not really. I'm sure you might be able to do it, but Autogram Demon Lord probably, yeah, can do it. You've got synergy power and the ult buff from Shinja doesn't really matter, but synergy and the dark buff and the synergy and Pierce rate right here. Just the antagonist team in general. New Year's Blessing, probably. Protector of Peace is also a follow-up orb team, technically. I don't know a lot of people who's going to have it, but, I mean, if you do, then sure, be my guest. Exalted Champions, yeah, that'll do well. The current their tournament stalwart team, Lumi, can probably clear all 3 of these stages easily with a physical team. That's not really an issue. I'm sure Freyren could do it. You need some points first, but, you know, with the synergy rate and the synergy power and the magic buff, like, it should be fine. The idols, I think he cleanses your status, but, I mean, you're gonna do stacking damage. We just used Tempest Elite. The 2-turn team from D2, I'm sure, could probably do it. You know, try it out. But I gave you 2 teams that are not the Freyren or Lumi team. specifically because I thought they would work, and it turns out they do work fairly well. So this should be more simple for people. But if you used other teams besides the follow-up orb teams, please let me know in the comments below. That way other people can see that and take advantage of those. But that's it for me, guys. Take it easy, and back on break I go.